Ryan Hart, he put out a tweet basically saying that he doesn't feel like the FGC can ever reach like peak potential, you know, in an online only era. Now, you know, we know the FGC is founded off, you know, coming together in arcades and stuff like that, everybody together playing games and stuff like that. And, you know, we keep it going with our major tournaments, our locals and things like that. So we are a community based off, you know, physical in-person interaction. But now with the whole pandemic and everything has shifted basically to just online only. And we're trying to keep the, you know, the spark of the community alive in this era that we're in now. So do you feel like, you know, being in person is what we need to get us to a place to where we're at that next level? So start with you, Devin.
This is actually an interesting topic, and I feel like Ron Hart is probably coming from the perspective of like how the FGC was grounded, how it's more grassroots, and how it was just like that's what it was. It was like interaction, even from the onset of the arcade. It was people right there playing each other. And even now, as we progress throughout the years, again, tournaments and events being held in person. But I do kind of want to point out this. A game like Fortnite. Fortnite has even though it's a different entity because it's like it's just this big thing of a game, right? But I think a lot of the events for Fortnite was like kind of online stuff. A lot of it's like online qualifiers. A lot of stuff for it was online. Like a lot of the time, the only I think events that Fortnite would have that were in person were like the very last like top qualifiers, like the one for like millions of dollars. I know that's again a different lane because that's a free to play battle royale game as opposed to fighters. And again, like we mentioned before, fighting games are they're definitely on the rise, but we're still niche just in comparison to stuff like that. I think we can though. I think it's just gonna take a lot more dedication and work from just like people that are exposing the game online, like online events, online tournaments. And I think we've been doing a pretty good job of it ever since like COVID has happened. I think the transition from like in-person tournaments and stuff like that, like next level battle circuit, a lot of these things have still been consistently going on, even though we're at home. So I feel like there is a possibility that we have an opportunity to still grow and reach a higher level, even if we're not necessarily, you know, playing each other in person. I mean, a lot of these events and stuff are still going on. E-League is still happening. The Dragon Ball National, all those things are still happening, even though COVID is still a thing. So I feel like it's just a different route we have to go. We have to like start planning differently and like a little more strategically. And like I said, I think it's just going to be having people that stream these events and stuff like that. Like, you know, I guess, you know, Spooky, all these different people, maybe even some new people to come out and just give things more exposure and put light on. So it's like, hey, look, we're at the house, but we're still willing to like put these things together and still have a, you know, somewhat of a sense, I guess, of virtual camaraderie. So I think it's still possible. I don't think it's like out of the question at all.
I feel like when we're asking the question about whether or not like the FGC can reach like its like peak or the ideal spot where it needs to be, you know, without like in-person, you know, in-person interaction, I think like, I mean, I enjoy tournaments. I think like, you know, going to majors, locals and stuff like that stuff is awesome. But that's like Devin was saying, like there are games like Fortnite that most of the presence is online, you know? So, and like the very, very last like qualifiers they do, you know, are in person, but most of that stuff is done online. And we're in that era right now where, you know, you kind of have to have a shift in mentality about what exactly constitutes a good FGC event. And, you know, we're all online right now. I mean, there are a few things that are going offline, but a majority of events are conducted online now. And, you know, I think we can't get stuck in that kind of stuck in like the place where we're like, okay, well, the only way that we could possibly reach our like true potential is doing in-person stuff. Like, I mean, it'd be great, but I mean, if that's not a possibility, if that was never a possibility ever again, so that means that we wouldn't be able to realize our true potential, like our maximum potential ever. I don't think so. I think that's I think we'd definitely be able to do that. People are doing it right now. It's just people are getting used to it. It's definitely not something that was gonna. It's 1 year. You know, it's 1 year. It wasn't even a 100% full year that we were doing this. You know, and people are just now getting it. Things happen slowly. It's not something that happens quickly. These are things that occur over time, and it's progress. You know, like call it what it is. It's progress. We're progressing towards a situation where either one or two things is going to happen. Either A, we're going to end up having all of our events online, which might be possible, or B, we end up in a situation where we have like a hybrid FGC where we're doing both online and offline events all the time. And, you know, we're getting to the point where people are kind of, like the companies are realizing the value of good netcode, you know, so that we have like the stable netcode. So we can we're getting as close to the person sitting next to us, or our hypothetical person sitting next to you as close as possible. So I don't know, man. I think like we're moving in that direction. We've had years to cultivate an offline presence, offline events with people. You know, this is the first year that we've ever had to be like, okay, we've had to conduct everything online. We've had to do everything online. Play all your matches online, do your locals online, do your majors online. You have to do every single thing online. That's not an easy transition. So I think it's fair to say that we're still kind of in the infancy of doing something like this. So I would say, yeah, we could definitely achieve our maximum potential with online events. It's just like you got to have the frame of mind to think of it as, okay, like what do we got to do to get us there, you know?
Yeah, I feel like what's the word? Once I'm kind of in the middle, like the way I'm kind of, you know, picturing in my head. You know, you see, like for example, you see all these movies. Y'all know the good old sports movies. These sports movies, they always have that triumphant moment when somebody overcomes something, a team win, or whatever case may be, and it always be in front of these big giant crowds. That gives that, you know, that illusion that, you know, it's just this big moment, and it'd be like that in like every movie, especially like I say the sports movies. So, you know, I feel like as humans, I know me for example, like once COVID happened, it made it harder, you know, to have and passion, you know, to play. Maybe if netcode was there, you know, better netcode, like for like me with DBZ, V Trigger 5, you know, if the netcode was there, maybe it'd be different, you know, but the online the way it is, it makes it harder to kind of stay encouraged to really play, really practice, and the online tournaments. Like I won one for DBZ. It felt good to win it, you know, because it was DBZ, and you know, I was able to prove to myself, like, you know, I can do it in a different game too. But you know, it's just something about if I would have won a DBZ tournament offline and just a crowd of people just soaking it in with you, you know, basking in the glory of your, you know, your first big win or something like that. I think that's kind of what I think about when he was saying, you know, that you need that kind of human interaction. Like you gonna get hyped up by yourself, you know, if you get that win, of course. But it's just that extra something about if you do it offline, and you know you got people that's just enjoying that moment with you. And hopefully, you know, down the line, it be both where, you know, online can be, you know, because of course we got all our offline events and things like that. But I would love if it's events that help you qualify from online to offline events because it's a lot of people, you know, that's really good online, but they don't have no way to get to these tournaments. It's better for people that, you know, don't nobody know about, or people know about them, but they don't know too much about them. So that's why I say it's kind of a mixed bag. I feel like you need both, you know, and like I was saying earlier, good net code, hopefully that's what it seemed like the developers are realizing, how important having a good online is. Yeah, I think that's it.